Hello, and you're very welcome to episode 36 of the Take a Poll podcast. It's been quite a while, Deck, since we've done a Take a Poll podcast, but at the same time, it feels like the last two were about a week long. So with our Cheltenham reviews, our Cheltenham previews of the handicaps, etc. Fun week it was with Deck. We will cover that in a later podcast. How are you?
Yeah, still recovering, still a bit tired. It was a long week, and there was plenty of points sank, glasses of red wine and a few pocket tonics in there as well.
Yeah, and a lot of our listeners actually going up and getting us points as well throughout the week, which very much didn't expect, and we very much appreciated. Oh my god, I was nearly on my ear before the Triumph Hurdle on Friday.
Yeah. we got a bit loose before the Triumph, all right. We were in good form that morning.
I needed a red hood, I think, before the Triumph Hurdle.
Yeah, they were going down quite well. So
thanks
very much, guys. And look, it was another great week meeting people.
Fantastic people.
Yeah, absolutely great. And I did think it felt a little subdued, the atmosphere. I don't know whether that was because Willie just came and dominated as expected, or the weather. Like, we've been blessed the last few Cheltenhams, apart from the Wednesday, where the weather's been good. You know, it's been very, very sunny, and it was kind of dull and wet. So, but it was great to meet everyone again, and the people we met for the first time.
Yeah, no, couldn't agree more. It was fantastic to meet everybody. I can see where you're coming from, the subdued, lesser crowds, etc. And we will get all into that on Tap 37, which will be reviewing the week that was with the Cheltenham Festival. Maybe a couple next time out winners, what we thought of some horses, etc. And we'll also answer a few questions in that podcast. But Deck, we're back to the good stuff. It's a Tuesday evening that we're recording, which means there's a Thursday afternoon National Hunt card in Ireland that needs previewing, and this time around it's Cork.
This is a new one.
This is a new one, yeah. We haven't done Cork in a while. There was a few Saturday Cork cards, but I don't think we've ever had a Thursday Cork. So it's good to have Cork on the bandwagon. Not a bad 7-race card. We've got a full circle qualifier as well. I know you love them, Deck, as do I. The final at Punchestown later on in the season, which we very much can't wait for. A couple of interesting maiden hurdles and a very, very special 3-mile qualified riders handicap hurdle, which Deck will take you through the rules and criteria of later on. The 508, the very, very interesting race with crazy criteria, but we'll get to that in due time. First up, Deck, the 223. It's the Welcome to Student Race Day 2024 Maiden Hurdle. So it looks like we're going to get a great crowd at Cork. Get the students in the door. They'll have a few points, spend a few quid, have a few bets, hopefully have a great afternoon and come back in the future. That's what it's all about. The favourite likely here, Deck, is going to be Robert Eddy, who's rated 115. Personally, I'd probably be a little bit disappointed if he was to win the race, because he showed on handicap debut that maybe he's not quite up to that. Jack Kennedy riding for Gordon Elliott. I imagine you're going to be looking elsewhere, Deck. Pinot Gris was one we had our eye on, I think, at Gowan last time out. Maybe he didn't handle the ground. He struggled. Probably a little bit disappointing that day. Who'd you come down on here?
Yeah, look, Robert Eddy, he did run the handicap the last day, but he probably on a line through Noble Hilltop, it might favour him over Pinot Gris. Pinot Gris was quite disappointing the last day, but the Tour de Fratas looked very strong before that. My worry is there was nothing reported the last day. There was no excuse, and there was obviously no question asked, but I thought it was very disappointing. But I would have Jeannie Macaroni way ahead of the two of them. She has some nice form with Eagles Rain and some other types. You know, they were really interesting and strong maidens that were ran at the start of the season that she was involved in. She's actually rated £8 less than Robert Eddy, but she finished ahead of Toll Stone, who short-headed Robert Eddy, and you know, she's going to get the allowance and the £7. I'd have her way ahead of the two of them, and I'm hoping the market misses her. Probably won't, but you know, I think the market will look towards. I'm hoping to look towards Pinot Gris and Robert Eddy, because I think she look, unless some of the, you know, there's some of them we haven't seen. It's hard to comment on them. See a lot of horses making their debut, but on all known form, handicap hurdle.
Look, I think that it's a tough time of year for the 4-year-old Maiden Hurdle. The same before we came on air. You're starting to get some of the traditional bred into the horses that have flat experience from a previous flat campaign. Good example being Nicholas Street there, who's by Yates. Towards the bottom there, we've a filly by Soldier of Fortune, Queen of the Lodge. Sam Curling trains that. I think she might be actually quite interesting. She's very much bred for the job. A couple of winners in the pedigree there as well. So I keep an eye on how she runs. Jeannie Macaroni, she technically only has £1 to find, given her £7 sex allowance with the Gordon Elliott horse. She'd probably be the way I'd be leaning here, very, very tentatively. Is that an app at a tap? Absolutely not. This wouldn't be a race I'd be dreaming of having a bet in by any way, shape or form. But these are the type of races where, you can get horses just learning their trade. Some of them might go on and win in the summer. Some might have 1 or 2 runs, be put away and come back for a winter campaign with a view to some early season handicaps next year. So it just very much depends. Some may even go back on the flat. You never know. But yeah, probably be Ginny Macaroni for myself, Dick. Very, very small play. But as I said, as you said there, the allowance very much brings her into it. And she probably does have the slightly better form lines. Moving on then, Deck 2 to 253. And as I move across here, it's to follow us on social media, Maiden Hurdle. Another one this time over 2.5 miles. You could look multiple ways here. Obviously, I'd have to start with Walk Away Harry, a horse who I put up at the very, very start of tap. I think maybe tap 1 or 2 as one that could maybe have a big season. Hasn't really materialized. I think he just needs good spring ground. He's not going to get it here. But when he does get it, he's going to look like probably one of the best handicapped horses in the country. Hopefully he gets it quite soon. But it's still a complicated enough puzzle for a Maiden Hurdle deck. I'd be probably looking at maybe Kalani King if you're forgiven the last day to go close here. But who do you think?
I was probably too disappointed in Kalani King the last day to be given him another chance. I'd have to see him again. Look, big stage, was 9 lengths off Majestic Run, who ran in the Mayor's Novice last Thursday. The fourth, Don Chalant, was second the next time out. But Cadill's saying he was toured in a bumper on his rules debut. Now the second, Remember He's Mine, was fourth next time out, a neck ahead of big stage. So like there's not much between them. But Freeman's Bay, he did improve past Remember He's Mine the last time. And yeah, as you said, Walk Away Harry, it's not a race I'd be having a bet in. I wouldn't be keen to have a bet in it at all. But it's taking a bit of working out, and there's an awful lot we don't know. Like Cadill's saying, it hasn't jumped yet. I'd probably side with Freeman's Bay if I had to. If you're making me put up a selection.
Yeah, well, as I said, Kalani King was probably, if you were going to forgive him that run, I know you can't. I probably could. That 2 length second at Blizzard of Oz was a brilliant run. He probably doesn't look like the most straightforward horse in the world, but it goes without saying that if Walk Away Harry can handle conditions, which he's already proven that he's struggled in them, but he is by far and away the best horse in this race. Now, I'd imagine you would agree with that. Like his bumper form is strong, and it's all on better ground. So I couldn't back him on the soft ground, given and how he's performed. I know he's placed on a heavy ground bumper at Clonmel, but like that beating of Irish Panther in a bumper at the Punchestown Festival, and even his hurdles debut where he was actually, I think he was a lot not his hurdles debut, sorry, his hurdles second run over hurdles, so he's beaten by Reading Tommy Wrong by about 7 lengths, as weak as a kitten in the betting that day as well. Like
I suppose it wouldn't be a surprise to see him suddenly handle the ground in this type of maiden either, because winning this type of maiden is not really it's not really gonna harm the mark, I don't think.
It shouldn't. Yeah, and if the handicapper if the handicapper looks negatively at him, like you could look at that run at Cork with Reading Tommy Wrong, Lisnagar Fortune, Staffordshire Not, and then he's fourth. So you're probably getting into territory where, if you win a race like this, it's probably going to compare to what you probably did at Cork on your second hurdle start. So look, they could go close here. as
They
much as I
also
like
need. You also want to be getting a mark to get you into spring races.
those good races, yeah, absolutely.
So like if you do want to be landing a nice pot, you want to make sure you're in the races. So
Yeah.
it'll be interesting, all right.
Yeah, well, look, he can go and win this. My money won't be on him. My money will be on him at Punchestown and whatever race he lines up in. However, over probably a similar trip, 2 mile 4, even 2 mile 3 and a bit, whatever it's going to be. I think Walkway Harry will win at the Punchestown Festival. It just depends which race. We will move on to the 323. It's another 2.5 mile race. The racing home for Easter Festival, 30th of March, the 1st of April, Handicap Hurdle. It is it's one of yours, Deck. It's an 80 to 95, and it's as competitive as ever, of course, at this level. Look, I see Goldhaven there. I thought she's desperately in need of a break. There was one I quite liked here, Deck. It wasn't Janu, because he's probably one that you might bring up. And Shauna Clune, she's looked like she's had kind of her chances now. But I'll leave this to you. You're the expert at this level. Go on.
Look, I think Starman Moonlight Getaway, yeah, he was second to Soil and Flight the last day off 87. Alan was third, and he's followed up at Punchestown since. He's got £5 though. He's up to 92. He was chasing the last day off 91 when he was beating 6 lengths at Tortoise. He finished second. The £5 is harsh, isn't it, for finishing second? Like, even though the third bolted up the next day, you just don't want to see it when you're trying to win these races, and some of them could be really well handicapped in mine. Junot is knocking on the door. I've not gone cold on him. Yeah, he is only a 5-year-old. He's only £3 ahead of his opening mark, and he's probably been placing every race he ran in. He also went chasing the last day, which was a big surprise. He finished third. Maybe didn't take it as well as they thought he would, but look, he still finished third. Look, he could well win this. He's going to win one soon because, as you said, he's only 5. There's going to be plenty of improvement in him. Tor Moon, look, he flipped his pallet the last day on heavy ground at Tortoise. I don't know whether they've sorted that out. Well, look, that can be sorted. I don't know whether they have. That was the middle of about a month ago.
I meant no chance if you do that on heavy ground, or if you do that on any ground, you have no chance. Yeah.
He's look, if it's not sorted, it's going to happen again. It's going to be heavy ground at Cork. Like the race before that, he was second off 90 to Mick Charlie. Mick Charlie's followed up, and he was ahead of Buchel Bocht, who's won twice since. So the form's quite strong. It's just, there's a breeding issue there, and we don't know if it's been sorted because they don't declare here. So it would really help if we did know. But look, the one I'm on the side with is Knockback Rambler. I did actually put him on before, and I think he opened at 66s and hit single figures during the day. He was placed in the end, but the race was actually won by Soil and Flight. He's down £3 from his opening mark. His best run came over this trip, and that was the 4th of Soil and Flight. That was off 92. He's down to 89 now. Like, he's back at the trip, but he showed his bit of form. £3 lower. I think he's a great chance.
Yeah. I wouldn't disagree with you there. However, going back to Tour Moon, that was the one I did come down on, because my reasoning being that if the pallet issue isn't sorted, I would just assume it would be a non-runner. I don't know why you'd run on heavy ground again if the same thing was going to show up. Obviously not dropped as a result of that, as any good handicapper should do, unless maybe they should have said he had ulcers or something. They might have dropped him a few pounds. But if you report something, you shouldn't be dropped, and then that's the reason he hasn't been dropped. As you mentioned, that run behind Mick Charlie, who I think did subsequently win, and Buchel Bocht, who won subsequently twice. That form for me it's standout here. As I said, like if all being equal, I think he's really hard to beat. You might get a price given what happened to him last time out, but as I said, my reasoning for maybe taking a chance on him here is that if they're worried about his palate, he'll be withdrawn, in my opinion anyway. So I'd be happy to stick with him, given I'll trust connections that they have it correct, and that Tour Moon will go close off a 37-day break. And Deck, you're siding with
It's not Brock Rambler, but look, if the
Cork
two of them
Rambler,
are double figures, they'll
back them both, yeah.
I'll be back in the boat, and I could be doing doubles or something. There's a couple of more handicaps where we might be getting big prices as well, so I might be throwing them into a multiple and hope a couple of them hit the frame.
Awesome. Well, moving on to the 358 Deck, another 2.5 mile race, and it's probably the main event of the day. To be brutally honest, it's the Full Circle Series. As you mentioned, very much looking forward to the final at Punchestown. Hopefully we get a few English horses coming over as well to join in the fun. So Qualifier Deck, take it away here. This is a proper competitive heat, as you would expect. You're getting the 22 runners. I was really interested in Harvey's Point. I know you're going to talk a little bit about him. I can follow you up on your points, but who do you like for the Full Circle Qualifier?
Look, I think this is very competitive. We must have covered nearly every one of the Irish Full Circle Qualifiers, so if we don't find a winner,
nearly there, yeah.
Of the final, maybe under pressure, might be two different people in these seats next year. Look, Noble Talent, he might be a little bit quirky. He won off 102 at Limerick. He's £8 above that on Thursday. He unseated at the last at Punchestown the last day, but he was probably held. I do think there's improvement in him. I'd be just worried is he a little bit quirky?
Possibly.
Yeah, and Carlos Big Jim, who's got a lot of mentions recently, I gave the horse a bit of stick, and I have to,
on a roll now.
Yeah, the pennies finally dropped. I was a bit weak in front early on in his career, but he's won his last two. 6-year-old, he's on a hat trick. You can see him going close again, but yeah, Harvey's Point is definitely one of the ones I like. His hurdle debut was this trip, and that was behind Farthing Glory. His next two runs came over 2 miles, and his handicap debut came over 2 miles, beating Ted Lentz. Been left on the same mark, up half a mile, ticking a lot of boxes. Be really keen on him, but there's one you just can't ignore, and experience tells us you definitely need to take a look at a Great Buzz here. All 4 runs have been over 2 miles. He's never been better than midfield. Up half a mile here for a second handicap. Look at the colours he's in. You just can't ignore this, So I'll probably take the two of them if I'm getting double figures on both of them.
Yeah, and she has to go close because you're not getting into the final off 92. There's no chance.
They might not care.
They mightn't care. Yeah, that's it. But like it is great. Some of these horses are borderline celebrities with us now. You've already mentioned Carlos Big Jim, Roly Boly Boys have been talked about many times on this show as well. And even a horse that I've a good bit of time for up towards the top of the weights there, Ebasari. I'm still convinced he wants slightly better ground. He's starting to run back into form, and he's definitely found his level, and he will strike. And I'm just waiting for the ground just to be a little bit better. Again, testing ground for a flatbred. I know he's by Luke de Vega out of an Azamore mare. It doesn't get more soft ground than that on the flat, but soft ground on the flat then in comparison to heavy ground in at this time of year. Still just a little bit shy of what I'd be looking for with him, but he's nearly ready to win. I'm have him very high on my list, and you guys will hear when I think he's going to win. Harvey's Point, though, as you said, Deck, I really like this horse. This could be a very well handicapped horse off 102. Even on his bumper form, beaten 9.5 lengths by Largy Hill, who looks like a nice horse for Willie Mullins. I think that's he won the graded hurdle, didn't he? The novice graded hurdle a few weeks ago. Clonmel, was it? I think. Beat Staffordshire Knot, maybe with Thurles actually. It could have been Thurles. Beat Staffordshire Knot. So that's really strong form. Was then behind the likes of Lisnagar Oscar and Helvic Dream. Like that was a really eye-catching run behind Helvic Dream. He's beaten about 20 lengths or so. Just didn't quite have the pace to go to clip there in that race. But the horses that were in that race are way better than 102 rated. Like I know Ascending didn't quite run his race, 133 rated. He was in 4th. I wouldn't say he was a whole heap below a rating of 133 though that day. So even though he's beaten 20 lengths and he was just outpaced, the step up in trip you'd hope would be the would set that off, would offset that, and off 102 into handicap company. My only worry about it is the yard just cannot buy a winner this season. I think 2 from 64, Colin Murphy. But sometimes yard form can just turn on its head. And when that form turns, you can back these horses blind, I would say. And this guy would probably be somewhere towards the top of the list on horses you could back blind. Harvey's Point 100% will be winning races, just a matter if it's Thursday or not. If he's a big enough price, I will still take a chance, because 102 would almost certainly underestimate him, in my opinion. And Deck, you'd be sticking with the green and gold of a Great Buzz, is it?
Oh, I just can't. I don't think you can ignore this filly. But like, again, if they're both double figure odds, which they probably will, I'll throw the two of them into a bet.
Awesome. Okay, well, we move on then to the 433, which is a 3 mile social packs for the Easter Festival Handicap Hurdle. And this is not a bad old race now. We'll do the novice heading the weights or here with Champagne Platinum Capilano Bridge, who's probably getting ready for the Punchestown Festival as well. Slightly better ground might help him quite soon. Jericho the Bomb, who's, in fairness for Philip Fenton's, had a good season. A little bit in and out, either kind of runs a poor race or wins. He's quite hard to catch. Regina Dracone as well, Thomas Gibney wouldn't be without a chance. But who do you like here, Dak, in the 3 miler?
Yeah, well, look, at Capilano Bridge, I'd say the plan was to go back to Fairley House where he won 2 years ago, but it's definitely going to be soft. Haven't started in with the press release this morning. Peter Rowe was saying he definitely won't be watering. They're expecting the Easter Festival to be run on soft ground. Definitely no better than soft. But here, I really like Jericho the Bomb. He's another top favourite. He's won twice now. He was beat 10 lengths off this mark the last day. He's not the quickest, and he probably wants this trip, He'll get further in time. Don't know how good he's going to be, but he's only a 5-year-old. I think he's a horse with a decent enough future in front of him, and he'd be the one for me here. If there was one to trouble him, maybe Chance to Robin right down the bottom. He was a maiden winner at Hexham. That was last summer. Beat 35 lengths by Will Do at Turles. That was off levels. Gets £18 on Thursday. It was fourth in a handicap. That was a handicap debut the last day at Leopardstown, I think. But look, I've high hopes for Jericho the Bomb. I think he could turn into a really nice staying chaser in time. All
right, and a horse that we probably should give a little bit more love to, Aidan May, the mare.
Yeah,
she's already rattled off a hat trick, and she's here looking for a 4-timer. Like, rattling off a hat trick, and you're still only rated 110, which is quite impressive in its own right. She showed no issues with coming back to 2.5 miles. Actually, her most impressive performance by quite a substantial margin. What do you think on her? Do you think she'll probably? You think that maybe they found the height with her now, or do you think she can just keep winning?
Yeah, what'd she get the last day? 11, was it?
The handicapper, I think, is fine. He got an angry, £11 for that, yeah.
£11 is probably not bad, though.
When you're going back up and trip, though, so, like,
Yeah, and I think we spoke about her on the Irish Racing podcast.
Yeah, we were worried about her coming back and trip at that
Yeah. Going back up. Look, it just gets tougher and tougher, and if she can do it again, great, but I think she could set the market for us here.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough.
She's gonna go off, but she's gonna open favourite, isn't she?
Yeah, no, most likely will. Yeah, you would have thought. I'd say the bookies might take no chances on her, to be honest. It's the first time she'd be kind of mixing it with horses like Will Do. Like that, this is quite a class drop now for Will Do. Yeah. Would be worth noting that he was 9th at the Dublin Racing Festival, only beaten 13 lengths by Maxim, Guayquil and Yates Star that day. So, like, you would have thought as a novice he should be able to come back and maybe beat these off top weight. But he has kind of, you can say he's had a long season. He did have a bit of a mid-season break. I would take the chance that the novice coming back in class would be too classy for these, if that makes sense. Like, usually at this trip, 3 mile hurdlers, like, there's no horses in here that I think would match his finishing position at the Dublin Racing Festival. That's how much of a class drop he's really taken here. So I would take the chance on the top weight. Will Do. Chances are he's probably going to be second favourite behind Aidan May. and you're taking the bottom weight deck, or not the bottom weight? You're taking Jericho the Bomb, is it?
Yeah, I think Jericho the Bronc has a decent future in front of him. You know, he could be an Irish national horse in time.
It could well be. You know what they probably should do with him, actually? And I'd say scoop up a mop of races now. You just get him handicapped over fences and then send him to England.
Yeah.
Send them to those, those Tommy Whittles or Haydock National Trials, or,
he'd love it. Absolutely love it.
Absolutely, he'd be swimming. He'd be having the time of his life. He would.
The only thing is, I'd worry would they go a bit quick early for him over there, because look, he's only 5. He's got
plenty of time.
Yeah, he'll strengthen up. It's just at the moment he's not the quickest, and that's why I do like him coming back to this trip.
Yeah, no, it will absolutely help him. So, Dec, I'm very much looking forward to explaining this one away. The 508 is the Longines Fagretti World Championship Qualified Riders Handicap Hurdle. It's 3 miles. It's 80 to 102. And I'm not even going to bother read out the conditions because you had them and you did a great job explaining them to me off air. So go on ahead.
Yeah, look, I'll probably end up asking Maria Kelly what all this is about, and I'll put her up on Twitter if she does know. I've no doubt she knows, but I'll read it out here anyway. Qualified riders under INHS rules and riders who are members of the Fangretti. Sounds so dodgy, doesn't it? The Fangretti.
It does.
Note, this is a Fangretti race, and there will be 4 international riders and 1 Irish rider selected to ride the top 5 horses by race card order in this race after the time of declarations. The draw will be made by Declarations Department of HRI. NB riders will receive allowances under Rule 52. So it's the top 5 riders. Mr. Elliot Ogher, Mr. P. Barlow, Mr. E. Staples, Miss C. Erickson, and Miss H. Sorb. I probably butchered that. Sorry, Miss
Helene Sorb. Helene Sorb. Yeah. And look, if she's over from wherever she's from riding one for Sam Curling, I have to sit up and take note in my book. I'm gonna guess Scandinavia, but somewhere, I don't know, maybe Sweden or Denmark or something. Anyway,
I have a feeling it's something to do with show jumping, the Fangretti, because it's sponsored by Longines. So yeah, they sponsor a lot of that stuff. So yeah, I'd imagine they all lose some sort of show jumping. But
Fangretti World Championship. I'll have a quick Google of it while you tell me who wins this race.
Oh, I did find this really tough, but there is a horse I mentioned before, Colleen Fleury. She took a step forward on her second handicap the last day, and she steps up another 2 furlongs here. I think we'll see a good bit of improvement in this race, but like as we said before, don't go mad in qualified riders races. I don't know an awful lot about a lot of the jockeys in here, and I did find this quite tough, but I did think she'd run well the last day. I thought she'd run better than she ran, but it was a step forward, and it'd be no surprise to see her take a bigger step forward on Thursday.
Fair enough. I really struggle with this race now myself. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm just looking through all the riders of the Fangretti here. Fagretti, is it? Fagretti? I think we're butchering that. Fagretti. Fagretti sounds better as Fagretti. Danny Defence has been running well, as you said. The beaten 3 lengths by Jouster. That's probably the best form on offer, is it?
Sorry, I was writing a text to Maria there. That's not what I was wanting to say.
How do you pronounce it? Never mind. What is it? Danny Defence.
Oh, Carl Thornton's, is it?
Yeah, like beaten 3 lengths by Jouster. The last day. Strong enough form, has gone up for it, but the horse is in good form. Obviously did pull up a Catterick, but you can never really at this level, horses going over to England at this level get butchered. Like, he got put up 9 pounds, didn't seem to enjoy himself in any way, shape or form at Catterick. Ran okay beforehand, was notably very, very well back to Fairyhouse in December time, and he just weakened approaching the last there. So he may need to be, held up and come with a late run. It seems to be the best way he's ridden, given the way he won a Fairy House in November off 88. But he is a horse that is still improving. And for me, I think he's the one that they probably have to beat. One for Daisy, as I said as well. Strong enough. Well, not strong enough. It obviously has ability given its point-to-point form. 15 lengths behind Miss Augusta in a maiden hurdle isn't bad form in context of this race either. I'd be probably siding whichever one's the bigger price. It probably would be one for Daisy. But it's not a race we really should be getting overly involved in. I just hope that the riders who qualify enjoy themselves at Figentry. I'm going to go with Figentry on that
Figentry,
one.
You're probably right with Figentry, yeah.
Good old Longines. Fair play to them. Longines sponsoring a race on this card probably wasn't on my bingo card, but anyway.
No, definitely not.
The students be looking. It's student day, yeah. Yeah, on student day. The last race deck is the buy tickets for the Easter Festival online. Now Mares Open National Hunt Flat Race. We've got 7 runners. Is this? It's not quite the debut of this Shark Hanlon thing that we're waiting to see. That was bred by the Queen. That's apparently really, really good. But there is one in similar colours here. Mothership by Affinity, who I think John Ox trained. Or maybe I think it was John Ox. He was in the Sea the Stars colours. Nice horse. He's been getting a lot of National Hunt winners quite recently. And we also have one by Snow Sky. If you remember him, in the Juddmonte colours, Snow Shan. Patrick Foley training that one. Deck, have you came down on anything here? This looks like a very tough bumper to end the card on.
Yeah, but look, Leper Round has been second in 2 maiden hurdles, so. You know, you'd have to take note. She'd probably go off favourite. And Mozzie's sister was brought down to point before winning one a year later. The second has followed up between the two of them for me. But yeah, no, don't have a bad interest in having a bet here now.
No, neither would I. Before we depart here, Deck, for top 36, what would your strongest bet in the card be if I was to put you on the spot?
Oh,
I know I am putting you on the spot there. But...
You are putting me on the spot. Maybe not Black Rambler or the Great Buzz. Look, if the money comes for the Great Buzz,
yeah,
we've seen this before.
As I said, I'm very excited about Harvey's Point actually in the same race that 358. I just would love to see Colin Murphy's yard pick up a little bit, because when they do, as I said, they could have winners all over the shop. Might have a little bit on Will Do as well in that 3-mile handicap hurdle. We'll see. Quite an informative card, more so than a punting one. But still very much looking forward to watching it, and we'll obviously talk a little bit more about it in the following taps to come when we're going through the form lines. But until then, Deck, that was Tap 36 and Cork, and we will talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
Yes, bye-bye.
You know.